Hello, my dear students. Today, under label of second paper, unit 4th, the Employees Compensation Act 1923, we are referring and we have covered a number of topics under this act. Today, we'll talk about the distribution of compensation, which is given under section 8 of the Employees Compensation Act 1923. This is Dr. A.K. Tyagi, and we are making this deliberation. This is video lecture number 36. I'm discussing the distribution of compensation today. So when we talk about the distribution of compensation under the Compensation Act 1923, see, section 8 lays down certain rules regarding the distribution of the compensation. No payment of compensation in respect of an employee whose injury has resulted in death, and no payment of lump sum as compensation to an employee or a person under a legal disability shall be made otherwise than by deposit with the commissioner. And no such payment made directly by an employer shall be deemed to be a payment of compensation. So no payment of compensation in respect of an employee whose injury has resulted into death, and no payment of lump sum as compensation to an employee or a person under a legal disability shall be made otherwise than by deposit with the commissioner, and no such payment made directly by an employer shall be deemed to be a payment of compensation. See, this provision is to provide a security to the disbursement of the compensation, so that compensation should go in the right hands, right? And provided that in case of a deceased employee, an employer may make to any dependent advances on account of the compensation of an amount equal to 3 months wages of such employee, and so much of such amount as does not exceed the compensation payable to that dependent, right, shall be deductible by the commissioner from such compensation and repaid to the employer, right? So this is a very important rule related to distribution of compensation given under section 8 subsection 1. And then in another subsection, any other sum, any other sum amounting to not less than rupees 10, which is payable as compensation, may be deposited with the commissioner on behalf of the person entitled thereto, right? Then under section 8 subsection 3, the receipt of the commissioner shall be sufficient discharge in respect of any compensation deposited with him, because see, while the person will deposit such compensation to the commissioner, then he will or she will receive the receipt, and in respect of any compensation deposited with him would be the sufficient discharge, right? And under subsection 4 of the section 8, the on the deposit of any money under subsection 1 as compensation in respect of the the employee who is the deceased, right, or the deceased employee, the commissioner shall, if the commissioner thinks necessary, cause notice to be published or to be served on each dependent in such manner as he thinks fit, right? and then calling upon the dependents to appear before him on such date as he may fix for determining the distribution of compensation if the commissioner is satisfied after an inquiry which he may deem necessary that no dependent exists, he shall reply the balance of the money to the employer. He shall repay the balance of the money to the employer, right? The employer who has made this compensation amount or who has paid the compensation amount. And then commissioner on application by the employer furnish a statement showing in detail all disbursements made, right? So this is under subsection 4, right? So that compensation, if means the commissioner is satisfied after the inquiry, right? If it is required after the inquiry, commissioner is satisfied that there is no other dependent exists, then the rest of the compensation amount shall repay the balance to the employer, right? Who has paid this compensation. Then under subsection 5 of this section 8, compensation deposited in respect of a deceased employee shall, subject to any deductions made under subsection 4, be apportioned among the dependent of the deceased employee of any of them in such proportion as the commissioner thinks fit, or it may, in the discretion of the commissioner, be allotted to any one dependent. So here the claimants, they need to satisfy the commissioner that whether they deserve this portion of the compensation or not. If the commissioner thinks fit and he is satisfied, then commissioner may exercise the discretionary authority powers, and on discretion of the commissioner, that compensation amount may be allotted to any one dependent, right? So this is subsection 5 of section 8. Now we refer to subsection 6 of section 8, where any compensation deposited with the commissioner is payable to a person. The commissioner shall, if the person to whom the compensation is payable is not a workman or a person under a legal disability, and may in other case pay the money to the person entitled thereto, right? So, my dear students, you will find whatever subsections we are referring under section 8, that by all means under this act, we are trying to protect that compensation amount, right? Or the provisions of the acts are trying to protect the compensation amount, and the compensation should reach to the right person. This is the objective here when we refer to the distribution of the compensation. Then when we refer to subsection 7 of section 8, where any lump sum deposited with the commissioner is payable to a woman or a person under a legal disability, such may be invested, applied, or otherwise dealt with for the benefit of the woman or for such other person during his disability in such manner as the commissioner may direct. So commissioner may direct for that investment also, so that the dependents would be benefited in a great way. And where a half means the commissioner may direct and where a half monthly payment is payable to any person under a legal disability, the commissioner may, of his own motion or on application made on this behalf, may order that the payment be made during the disability to any dependent of the employee or to any other person whom the commissioner thinks fit, whom the commissioner thinks best fitted to provide in the interest of the employee for the welfare of the employee. So this is again very important subsection, where again the objective of this subsection is that the person under a legal disability, the commissioner may, of his own motion or on application made on this behalf, order that the payment be made during the disability to any dependent of the employee or to any other person, right, to whom the commissioner thinks best fitted to provide for the welfare of the employee. And under section 8, subsection 8, where an on application made to the commissioner in this behalf or otherwise, and the commissioner is satisfied that on account of neglect of children, on the part of parent, or on account of the variation of the circumstances of any dependent or for any other sufficient cause, the commissioner may pass an order to the distribution of sum paid as compensation, or as to the manner in which any sum payable to any such dependent is to be invested, right? And the commissioner may make such orders for the variation of the former order as he thinks just as the circumstances of the case. So where an application made on this behalf or otherwise, the commissioner is satisfied, then on account of the neglect of children on the part of the parent, or on account of the variation of the circumstances of any such dependent person, and the commissioner is having a sufficient cause, he may order as to the distribution of any sum paid as compensation. And the commissioner may take such orders for the variation of the former order as he thinks fit in the circumstances of the case. Now we provided that no such order prejudicial to any person shall be made unless such person has been given an opportunity of showing cause why the order should not be made, or what are the changes in these circumstances may be, or shall be made in any case in which it would involve the repayment by a dependent of any sum already paid to him. Then we talk about the section 8, subsection 9, where the commissioner varies any order under subsection 8 by reason of the fact that payment of the compensation to any person has been obtained by fraud, or with improper means, or by impersonation. Any amount to so paid to or on behalf of such person may be recovered in the manner hereinafter provided in section 31. And my dear students, for understanding, you may refer this case, Gopal Synthetic versus Workmen's Compensation. It's a Rajasthan High Court case, and equivalent citations you can refer to this, right? So these are the provisions given under section 8 for distribution of the compensation, And one important point is here and given under section 9, that is compensation not to be assigned, attached, or charged. So no lump sum or half monthly payment payable under this act, shall in any way be capable of being charged, assigned, or be liable to attachment, or to pass to any person other than the employee by operation of law, nor shall any claim be set off against the same. So this is again one important provision given related to the compensation, that compensation not to be assigned, attached, or charged. So my dear student, this is all about the distribution of compensation, different subsections given under section 8 and section 9. We have discussed the compensation not to be assigned, attached, or charged under section 9. I repeat that no lump sum or half monthly payment payable under the act shall be in any way capable of being assigned or charged, or be liable to attachment, or passed to any person other than the employee by operation of law, and nor shall any claim be set up against the same. And the object of this provision is to save employees from moneylenders and from other creditors, because see, ultimately this compensation is being offered or is given to the employees in case of any mishappening, in case of any disturbance. So how the dependents, how the employee will survive. So the object of this provision given under section 9 is to save employees from moneylenders, from other creditors, because this compensation is for the survival of the employees, for the survival of the dependent persons of the employees. So this is all about for today's deliberation, my dear students. Thank you so much. you go through this deliberation and go through the BEAR Act also. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Take care.